Hey there! So today we have another review. This is a new beer from New Belgium. This is Hop Raider. So I guess sort of a Indiana Jones inspired kind of like theme to it, but with the Voodoo Ranger Hop guy on there. And yeah, this is a new kind of like seasonal from them or just a new release. Um, I will say I've actually had like a few cans of this already, and it is quite tasty. What is this? It's got like Chinook, Citra, Galaxy, like Sabro, like even like Fato, which is like a new hop for me. But then it's like pale honey, caramel malt, so like classic kind of like grain bill. 8.1%, a double IPA. And the reason why I bought this also, by the way, was that again, one of the coolest things about Florida is the Publix, where you can get a 6 pack of this on BOGO. So like for like a whole week, it was buy 2 6 packs for like $13. Like how do you I mean that's you can get a case of beer like 24 cans for like $26. Like you just can't beat that, right? Especially for a double IPA, that's absolutely insane. So that's how the beer turns out. So obviously a little bit of that crystal in there, right? So first off, clear. So this is not a hazy Voodoo Ranger kind of thing. This is more like towards I guess the Imperial Voodoo Ranger, which is like the best-selling IPA in the entire country. But yeah, beer is a medium gold color, crystal clear. Wonderful fluffy white head. Yeah, crystal. I mean, it's beautifully clear. I mean, the clarity on that is insane. Yeah, yeah, it smells great. Yeah. So this immediately pulls me back to Pacific Northwest, like Portland. What I'd be like over a handful, probably around a handful or so of these double IPAs. Those beers are definitely more pale, so they definitely pull back on the crystal malt, but the nose is like in that range. Like it's it's got this really fun kind of like burnt plasticky kind of thing, which like might sound like an off flavor, but it's like chives, marijuana, a little bit of fruitiness in there. I get a little bit of strawberry. Yeah, like fresh strawberry. A little bit of like sweet melon. So this is a strawberry melon kind of thing going on, along with the dankness, along with the herbaceous qualities, along with that kind of almost like it's again, it's not quite like it's not ethyl acetate as in the all flavor. It's sort of like this. Um, is it like it's definitely got a little bit of the onion garlic dank thing. So a little bit of that kind of allium, kind of like garlicky kind of tone to it. Maybe shallot. I don't know. And then so, but also a little bit chemically too, right? That fun kind of flavor that's like a little bit like nail polish remover, hairspray, plasticky kind of. It's all that, but in a good way. On the palate, this beer is elegantly clean, super drinkable for 8%. Despite the honey crystal malt, it really doesn't have much sweetness behind it. It actually tastes a lot more pale than it looks. So really, again, like this beer really, like despite the appearance, really reminds me of like those Pacific Northwest beers. Dank edge up front, pithy. I get grapefruit rind, but then it's really not that fruity. Um, Again, follows on the palate with a little bit of like light kind of almost like pink starburst, like strawberry, but also like pink starburst, right? Strawberry starburst, kind of like flavor in there, a little bit of melon, citrus rind, but then in general it relies on a lot of earthy tones. The beer definitely packs like a medium plus bitterness, um, relative dry beer, and then it follows on the palate with that kind of like thing that I was smelling. There's this chemically dankness that's quite fun. Diesel. Yeah, there you go. On the nose, I was calling some chemicals, but diesel. Yeah, it's like gasoline. It's like diesel. It's fun. Do I get cat pee? Maybe. Yeah, there you go. That's a chemically too. Yeah. So the cat pee thing is also there. So like I was calling some chemicals, but like gasoline and cat pee is certainly a thing in there, and then sort of translates to the palate a little bit. But again, in the most tasty way. People find these, descriptors to be really disgusting, but I enjoy them. Like sprinkled into a really like elegant, precise like. So like I've done some videos talking about like GABF winners. This seems like a beer that would like do pretty well in competition. I just find it's like it's concise, it's dry, it has a proper like a solid amount of bitters, but it has a vision to it, right? It has a little bit of complexity to it, and then but it's like a concise dry beer. Like it just I feel like this is like a beer judge's kind of beer. I really like it as well. This might be one of the best releases that New Belgium has done, or at least IPA releases that they've done recently. I highly recommend this one. Again, to be able to drink a beer I mean, like people were calling me out for like comparing Voodoo Ranger to like Pliny the Elder, but like again, if you can't trade for beer that's like 3,000 miles away, like you're doing a very good job drinking Voodoo Ranger. This this tastes like Pacific Northwest. If you can't get yourself, hell, they don't really distribute that far, which is actually pretty crazy. Like those breweries are just at that size where they're probably just on the West Coast. Like I literally couldn't live further from California. I'm sorry, from Florida to Portland, but those beers just don't make it out here. And like they're so distinctly like Portland, which is so cool. Like thank you to Katie for like getting me that box of beer. They like really taste like a region, which is like literally again the opposite part of the country that like I don't have access to the beers, and also is really far to travel to. Um, this tastes like that, which is so cool to like be able to buy like a $6 6 pack of a beer that just really translates or transports you to a specific region of IPA that is so distinct and tasty. It's not exactly that, but like hell, for a dollar, like literally $1 a can, like this is very tasty beer, and you're like obviously again saving yourself like an over 3,000 mile flight to Portland for again a region of specific IPA that is so distinct. This for me is tasty. I like it. I'm crushing these. A solid 95. It's just dank and a little bit dirty and soily. It just does it. This is like a really fun antithesis to what hazies had been tasting like. Where, granted, a lot of them are like just taste like green cut grass in the glass, which is disgusting. But then a lot of them are just like so like soft and oat and wheat ribbon and mangoes and peaches. Like this is not that. This is on the 180 on the spectrum of the tasting notes, which is fun. I love their ability to do, juicy, hazy, fruity, tropical, blah blah blah, but also do like earthy, dank, cat pee, diesel, gasoline, um, like weed. Like it's not that dank. It's not that weed, but it is definitely on the soily and dirty and like those base tones that are really fun and tasty and bitter too. This beer has a decent amount of bitterness to it. So 95 from me. Fantastic hop raider. Highly recommended. Check it out later.